game. And we'd like you to please, if you would, join us in celebration with a minutes round of applause for Roman Costello.
Year-old Ronan Costello, who sadly passed away this week. Chris Kendall is tonight's match referee between Wigan and Widnes, both playing in change strip, the lime green of Wigan and the purple of Widnes. And a big game for both, Steve-O, tonight.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on not only the players but also the two coaches. Dennis Betts, a former Wigan player, of course, and Sean Wayne. I'd have to say that perhaps both these coaches have got a wonderful attention to what I call a defensive pattern. And we saw last week, especially when Widnes did the job on Castleford, that they slowed the play the ball down. Wigan, well, they know how to do that on a regular basis. So let's hope perhaps that the referee, Chris Kendall, will be a little bit lenient and not blow the whistle too much, because the style in defence is very similar.
Well, the kick-off from Wigan, it was fielded by Rhys Hanbury. He took the first tackle. Cahill now takes the second tackle. And it's Widnes in possession. And I suppose, really, when you look at the team that Wigan have on duty here tonight, there are several first-teamers missing. This is a glorious opportunity for the Vikings to get themselves up into the top five.
Yeah, they certainly have, and all eyes, I suppose, in many ways, is on Kevin Brown. He's made it quite clear that he wants to have a good game tonight to impress upon the New England coach, Wayne Bennett. And he's certainly got the quality, that is for sure. Whether he can display it against the youngster, Jake Shorrock, it's a big ask, isn't it, for young Shorrock tonight?
Big ask for him, and big ask for Lewis Tierney, who fielded that high kick. There is Kevin Brown. He was on the wing, Lewis Tierney, last week at Hull Kingston Rovers. He was 18th man. He was called in because Dan Sargentson withdrew after the warm-up. And there is the first mistake from Dominic Manfredi.
He's a man that they need to control. Dom Manfredi, Josh Charnley, the other winger. When they bring the ball back, they take it into the heart of defence. They're so powerful. They win the first couple of plays, and Sean Wayne has shown his arm. He's named 4 prop forwards in the starting 13. He's going to take Widnes on up the middle, and those two wingers will hopefully, for Sean Wayne, get them on the front foot. And if they do that, it's going to be difficult to control them, Steve-O.
Yeah, it was good work by Lloyd White to make sure that he made the impact on the ball carrying arm.
And it wasn't really the start that Dom Manfredi would have wanted to this, his 50th Wigan appearance. However, it's Widnes who are in possession here now with McGrath Luluai. He got the first try against Castleford last week. Lloyd White was the dummy half. He dropped the pass off to Buchanan. Here is Hanbury again. That's good defence from Anthony Gelling.
Tremendous stuff. Gelling, the centre, picked him straight out. Good opportunity here.
Yes, tremendous. This is Matt Whitley. 20-year-old. Plays the ball to Lloyd White. Goes across the face of play to Kevin Brown. A dink into the in-goal area when Brown was being chased by his half-back partner, Joe Mellor, but no luck.
Well, a lovely bit of recognition from Anthony Gelling. I think he's had a look at that particular play during the week, and there's a nice testing kick. Widnes in good field position. And Tez has already mentioned the starting front rows. We've got Ryan Sutton over here on the right. He met Matt Whitley, who got man of the match against Castleford last week.
Well, Bill Arthur was getting his galoshes and his rain gear ready, but looks all right, Bill, tonight. The conditions don't look too bad now for you.
Well, you would be saying that from a commentary box, wouldn't you? But down here on the sidelines, I tell you, it is still raining, not as heavily as it has been this afternoon. Now, on a conventional pitch, we'd have puddles sitting all over the place and players splashing around. None of that on this high pitch. It's got fantastic drainage. It's laid on sand. The water just goes straight through it into big drains underneath. The only thing about it, as the big kick goes up from the Wigan Warriors, the only thing about this high pitch is that when it's wet, the ball really zips off it. So the kicking game takes on another dimension, and that is something that Kevin Brown will be looking to exploit.
I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will. This is an aerial kick, though, that is claimed by Hanbury. It's now in the hands of Patrick Arvan.
Yeah, it surprised me there that Matty Smith opted for the high bomb. It's pretty solid, his Hanbury, on the high kick. And perhaps he might have been better to just to try to slide the ball on the very, very hard surface.
Jack Buchanan gets Widnes over the halfway line. Good defensive work, though, by Wigan, and what's more, they force the error from the 24-year-old Australian.
Yeah, they just twisted him in the tackle, and you can see he really hasn't got much force on it. Lost control. It's good defence.
Well, there's that ruck control you talk about. Synonymous with Wigan is the ability to slow the player the ball down. They get numbers in. Players are clinching the ball, making sure there's no second phase, no offloads. Widnes, they'll have to try and use their agility and their speed and their craft to combat that.
Yeah, it was good work by Ben Flower. Made sure that he didn't touch the ball. Only went till the ball carrying arm. Very clever defence.
Sam Powell from dummy half got the ball away to Ryan Sutton. And then his short pass is met by fierce defence. And there was no way through for Ben Flower then. Powell again gets it away to Shorrocks. Jake Shorrocks, 19 years of age. He was at Swinton against Featherstone just a couple of weeks ago. Here is Matty Smith. Matty Smith then yelling on the end of the pass.
That was good work by Wigan. Utilised the two dummy runners, got on the angle, but again, this Widnes defence just sliding across, and when he got to the fourth tackle, they made sure they were man on man. They've got exactly the same defensive pattern now.
Nice kick from Shorrocks into the space. That's bounced off Widnes' chest, and this is going to be play on. Neat little kick from Jake Shorrocks then, and what a great opportunity here for Wigan, and even better now because they have the penalty, because Charlie was being interfered with as he tried to play the ball.
Yeah, Chris Bridge made sure that there wasn't going to be a quick run from the dummy half position. Good work by Chris Kendall, the referee. Needed to be as well. They were all offside.
This is Lee Mossop. He takes them to within 5 metres of the line. First real opportunity for Wigan to post the first point, and then Don Crosby, a man with over 100 career appearances, including 13 at Widnes. Way back, he puts the ball down.
Yeah, simple mistake. Coming across the back of the player, the ball trying to target Christine, the flash across the back, looking to pick out him and Joe Mellett. Looking at what Kevin Brown's going to be doing in this next set of six, you've got Ryan Sutton, who's normally a prop forward. He's defending out wide next to Anthony Gelling. Now, Anthony Gelling is one of those players, he's so defence orientated. If he sees somebody, he's going to fly off the line, he's going to try and bash him. I think this could be a game plan for Widnes to attack Wigan on the right edge and see if there's any inexperience from the Ryan Sutton, who's never, in my eyes, has played in that position before for Wigan.
And again, offside, a little bit too eager Wigan. This will be good relief. They still do it, don't they? Put their arm on it, they've done all the tackling, then they're messing around.
But you're just trying to slow them down. You want to keep them trapped in the corner. Challenge them to bring the ball out like Ben Flower did then, come up with a decent shot on Christine.
Yes, there was no way forward for Dean then. There might be here for Buchanan now, as he gets Widnes to within about 3 metres of the halfway line.
The one thing that Widnes do, and their coach Dennis Betts, that when they're deep on their own line, they'll work that short blind side, try to suck in the Wigan defence, then get the link through the three quarters. But again, defences are on top at the moment.
Brown just drops the pass off once again, and it's Cahill. Beg your pardon, it's McGrath Luluai who plays the ball to Lloyd White. There's now Kevin Brown. Brown tries to go inside a couple. Mossop got a bit of a challenge in on him. Powell lying all over the top of Brown as he tried to get to his feet. It's with Mellor. Oh, he was hit a bit late then by Willie Isa.
Well, touch judge hasn't moved. He said it's A-OK.
Well, Joe Mellor and Kevin Brown are going to get enormous attention tonight. Wigan know they recognise that if you give those two players enough time, and Willie Isa, having played with both of them, he'll be more aware than anybody else.
But we saw in the previous tackle that Cahill was getting attention in back play. He's certainly not 100%, and that's the reason why Wigan are trying to test him out. That's the second time they've gone on that left-hand side. He looks to have recovered pretty quickly.
Don Crosby goes down, tackle number 5, so expect the kick here from Matty Smith. Matty Smith's waiting first receiver, he gets it.
Outside! Give him 10 left!
And the kick goes rolling along the ground and is picked up by Rhys Hanbury. And Hanbury trying to get inside a couple, but 3 Wigan defenders are in there, led by Lee Mossop.
And that's the type of kick that you expect on this ground. Matty Smith kept it low. You notice that the fullback was going to stop it with just his foot.
Referee saying here there's no reaction from Lee Mossop because he called move there and he didn't get off quick enough and then had a little push down.
Yeah, well, these are piggybacks for Widnes. Rhys Hanbury showing good footwork at the line. He beats a man, he lands on his front. Lee Mossop, knowing that the team has lost that player, they're just trying to make up a couple of seconds.
Hold, go, that's 1.
Lloyd White finds Kevin Brown. Brown then goes short with the pass.
Stand on!
Again, 3 men in on Cahill. He plays the ball though on halfway. Brown goes towards the corner, inviting Patrick Arban to chase. Manfredi gets to it first and does well, does Manfredi. He wheels away from the first challengers, but Buchanan comes in.
That is good play from Widnes. They kicked on the second, but it saves the energy of having to cart the ball up. Look where they put pressure on Wigan now. It's a wonderful kick there by Kevin Brown.
Crosby again. White meeting him head to head. Good progress made though by Crosby. He played the ball here to Powell. Powell then looks for the runners, and it is Lee Mossop, and Mossop gets Wigan up and over the halfway line. He's a difficult man to put down, Lee Mossop.
Sorry, Eddie, but that is a great run. To say where Wigan were in that kick down into the corner, they've got themselves well and truly into the Widnes half. This should be another skimmer on the floor, surely. No, they opted for the high.
Yeah, the aerial route, and it is high as well. Oh, he's taken out. Surely he was. Lewis Tierney was right underneath Rhys Hanbury.
Yeah, it's all about timing, and I suppose as the years go by, you could see that Lewis Tierney went right into him. There's no chance for Hanbury to take this. You see he was reaching, Tierney right underneath him.
He doesn't even look where Lewis Tierney is, because as a fullback your job is to catch the ball. You've got to be brave in all those circumstances, whether the ball's on the floor and there's going to be boots flying or the ball goes high in the air. Your job is to catch it on the full.
You're right, and also is that you've got to have the confidence in the referee, and Chris Kendall in the opening 11 minutes have really handled it well.
Well, he's blown for 4 penalties, and Widnes have had 3 of them. Here is Buchanan once again for the Vikings. They're over halfway.
He's trapped him. Go. Jack, don't trap him in.
White gets the ball away. Great tackling again by this Widnes defence. Here is Wigan defence rather. This is Brown, gets it back to Hanbury. Hanbury dabs it into the corner, inviting Arban to chase again. Arban did chase. Manfredi was there as well.
It came off Manfredi to start with, but I think Arban has touched it at the last moment.
Touch judge has come on. He must have seen something, Stuart.
It's late hit on Kevin Brown as he kicked the ball. Somebody came through on him late, and I think that's what Clint Sherrod's on for.
On Kevin Brown was late.
Yeah.
I don't believe the collision was high.
Okay.
So in my view,
it's just a penalty. Okay, Don Crosby.
Don Crosby, the man being picked out. Oh, it was late.
Oh, that looks.
Well, quite frankly,
head really rocks back there, and I said
deserves 10 minutes. Stuart, surely.
Well, he has the option to do that. He's taken the report. The report clearly said that he didn't believe it was high, and that'll be why he hasn't taken any further action.
Do you remember a couple of years ago when Ryan Sutton did exactly the same, putting pressure on Kevin Brown? He's the man to stop in a Widnes jersey.
Yeah, but it's a shoulder charge.
Shoulder charge, but there's no contact with the head, and if it had been, he'd have probably been sent off. But as it is, he's taking no further action.
Well, that's Wigan's game plan. Don't give Brown and Mellor any time on the ball. Chase hard from the inside, put pressure from the inside, but they need to control that Wigan, otherwise it will just penalise them and punish them, as it has done here.
And Whitley will drive the ball in for the Widnes Vikings. He played 16 of the last 17. He was man of the match last week against Castleford. Here is Jack Buchanan. Gets them to within 7 metres maybe of the Wigan posts. White goes to the right-hand side. Mellor to Brown, who stabs the kick to the in-goal area. A chase on here. Tierney to the rescue.
Tremendous work.
Thompson underneath him.
Tremendous work, and little wonder that Dennis Betts is happy with that. The little kick through. No point in using up the energy when you know you can turn the opposition around. That is brilliant rugby league football.
And they're looking to get numbers. Kevin Brown sweeping from one side of the ruck to the other side, linking up with Joe Mellor. He had Reece Hanbury out the back, just drops it onto the toe and just keeps on building that pressure.
The one thing I like, Tez, is the way that both Kevin Brown and Joe Mellor, sometimes he'll take first receiver, then they'll go out wide. The way that they're utilising each other is very crafty indeed.
So back come the Vikings again in the shape of Hep Cahill. Lloyd White, remember this, a repeat set after the little dink into the in-goal area, knocked dead by Lewis Tierney. Buchanan looking for another penalty, non-forthcoming. Brown drops the pass off to McGrath Luluai.
Now this is the time where Widnes really utilise the running. Lloyd White perhaps just take them on, ask a few questions. All he's done is just found the ball out wide.
So it's Mellor's job, but Mellor is caught high. And it's another penalty here for Wigan, and it's the old boy.
Time off.
So many times you're seeing him do that in a Widnes jersey. Works really hard. Again, you see Joe Mellor goes at the line. Willie Isa spots what he's going to do. He's going to put pressure on him. So on the opposite side, when it was Dom Crosby who gave a penalty away, now it's Willie Isa on the opposite.
Wait, back.
So Buchanan tries to outwit the defence. He's held up and then put to ground by the three men. Good work low down by Sam Powell. White ignored the runner that was Cahill. Here is Brown, Kevin Brown. Just short of the line. And Lloyd White steps over the grounded player, gets it away. Opportunities here once again for Cahill, but it took 4 men to stop him on this occasion. It's great pressure this from the Vikings. Lloyd White, not the best, finds Mellor, it went behind him. Flying tackle coming in by Ben Flower, missed. Willie Isa didn't. And it's Lloyd White to the line.
First time he's run from down at half, nearly came up with the 4 points. Great work. They were very slow. Sorry, Eddie, they were very slow Wigan to get that first-second marker set up.
Brown goes wide, Hanbury hates it. Corey Thompson, that's a big hit. That's a huge hit by young Jake Shorrock. And Shorrock just put it over the whitewash. Great stuff from the 19-year-old.
Well, tremendous stuff. It looked like they had the space. Widnes through a succession of hands. Kevin Brown, Reece Hanbury, and Corey Thompson thinks, I'll just brace myself for impact. I'll use my body as a shield and get the ball down in the corner, but good work from the fullback and the young halfback. He's a very special player, and we'll see a lot from him during this game. Jake Shorrocks will prove people his quality.
Well, he's a very special player, but that was a shoulder charge.
That was a shoulder charge. He's put him in the foot with a shoulder charge. Hasn't been picked up by the officials.
And not only that, I was surprised that Corey Thompson took a step off his right foot. When on this pitch you can slide forever. He really should have slid down. See how he takes a step? That's allowed the defence to take him. Maybe he could have slid in.
Getting on the ball now though for the Warriors. Powell asking the referee to get the Widnes defenders off him. And it's taken further forward by Lee Mossop. In centre field, midway inside the Wigan half of the pitch. Shorrocks helps it on again to Willie Isa.
Stand up!
We've seen already that Widnes are utilising the kick to break down the Wigan defence.
And they have another penalty to Wigan.
Play the ruck area.
Well, he's being consistent, Chris Kendall.
Yeah, well, the message has got to get across to him now. Look, I said before the game, both these sides, They're near perfection when it comes to just holding the man down.
Well, Joe Mellor gets caught on the wrong side of the rope, then he can't get set. He's trying to spin round, get himself in front, but giving that away on the fourth play. They've got 6 more tackles here to defend, just 20 metres from the line.
And Cholima Tautai is out there. Wigan's super sub, featured in 20, all of them this season, 19 of them as substitutes. Good defence there from Patrick Arban, helped out also by Charlie Runciman.
Yeah, great work by the centre, Runciman.
Anthony Gelling thought about going down the short side, came open, has a good run at the line. Halted by Arban and co. Powell into centre field, finds Matty Smith. Smith trying to jink his way through. Cahill got to him. He read the script. Powell again, dummy half. Fires it into the arms of Shorrocks. That's a short pass to Willie Isley. It was well read by the Widnes defender. The Widnes defender was Joe Mellor. And here's a crossfield kick from Shorrocks. He was taken light as well. Runciman has picked it up. He was jumping from the field of play. He'll turn defence into attack. Touch judge is on.
Yeah, Shorrocks was taken out as soon as he kicked that ball. Again, both sides working on that kick pressure.
I think it's McGrath Luluai has been spotted here by the touch judge.
Guys, over there!
Shorrocks looks like he's got a bang on the face.
Well, that was it was a late shot, wasn't it? And it's I don't think it's quite a shoulder charge, but it's certainly late. There's no contact with the head whatsoever. I think again this will just be a penalty to Widnes.
Sometimes, Eddie, it's just about getting in the eye line with the man who's kicking the ball to put him off. Not letting him drop that ball on the button where he wants it to one of his teammates out wide.
Well, he certainly knows what first team rugby league is about. His first game of Super League, he's been involved in a collision to save a try, and when he's been involved in a kick, in a high kick, he's took one from one of the enforcers, McGrath Luluai. So, as I said, he's a very special player, tough, durable, and I'm sure we'll be talking about him at the end of the game in very positive, glowing terms.
The penalty, of course, taken from where the kick landed.
I think it's penalising for offside, which is great advantage to the other one.
Okay. And now they're offside again. Widnes, the penalty count is mounting. That's the 9th penalty. It's levelling up, 5 to Widnes, 4 to Wigan. Can they make anything from this, the 4th that they have received? With Willie Isa once again. No, not this time. He's hurt it. Christine was in there quickly, so too was Chris Bridge. Solid run again at the Widnes defence. Don Crosby. Here is Matty Smith. Lined up here is Gelling. Gelling gets it away to Manfredi. Dominic Manfredi comes inside 4. Can't get away from the 5th and 6th defender.
Good work there.
Lloyd White got to him.
Yeah, the hooker did exceptionally well there. The big fella's going.
Yes, Tautai.
Tautai very close.
Just short. Powell. Here is Matty Smith again. Fires the pass a little untidily, looking for Lewis Tierney. Tierney managed to retain possession for his team, but they lost some ground there. They're on the 20-metre mark now as we've reached the last tackle. So Smith no doubt will kick it. Looking for Gelling in centre field. Can't find him though, only finds Charlie Runciman.
Good take from the centre, Runciman. Eyes on the ball at all time. Arban trying to get it.
There's a lot of the red zone. Sorry, Steve, but there's a lot of pressure on Matty Smith going into this game. Obviously, no Mickey McLaurin, no Sam Tompkins, George Williams pulling out just before the game. So he's got to take control of all those players, all the final players. When his forwards get him going forward, he's got to read what's in front of him and react to what the defence is doing.
Mellor, good play from Mellor. Stepped inside a couple, but he was scragged to the ground, and a good job he was as well. On the last tackle, of Widnes lost the plot. I think they have. Still the last tackle. The referee can't make it any plainer. They can't get the ball away, Widnes.
That'll be the turnover. Dennis Betts will be furious with that.
It was good work in defence, that by Lee Mossop initially.
Time off.
Yeah, well, Widnes were appealing to the referee that was touched by a Wigan player. Instead of, when Christine got on the ball, his players switching on, they were asking the referee, did that come off a Wigan player?
Well, that's Dom Crosby receiving treatment, and it does not look well.
You look at the Widnes players here. Joe Mellor, he's not happy.
Oh, there's a problem here for Dom Crosby.
Need to see some kind of response.
It's painful.
Kevin, same for you.
It's a painful
Need to
injury.
see a response on
But when
move.
Chris Dean has the ball, he looks up.
Lee.
I think it's at Joe Mellor to pass him the ball. There's the hyperextension of the arm from Dom Crosby. They're painful, those.
That's one.
Well, Crosby then has to leave the field.
Hold. Go. That's one.
They go the short side, do Widnes in the shape
Two.
of Wigan in the shape of Isa.
Back. Wait. Go. That's
Powell
two.
again.
Fine.
Mossop brings it forward once again. Solid run again from Lee Mossop, operating tonight at loose forward. He sat out the opening 3 matches of 2016. Matty Smith, Ryan Sutton, short ball from him to Anthony Gelling, who was in great form before he left the team injured. Came back with a try in his return after 4 out last week at Hull KR. Here is Matty Smith. Bit of space here maybe for Shorrocks.
Well, we're nearly there, 20 minutes, halfway through this first half, and there's been very few clean breaks. That's how strong both sides are. Good kick through.
Great kick from Gildart, good work from Hanbury.
Has to be as well.
There's been very few clean breaks, but I tell you what, if Willie Isa is a metre further in front and Jake Shorrocks gets a pass to him, there's a nice little kick, a nice little dribble through. Lovely footwork.
Get to this scrum,
I
fellas.
think Oliver Gildart and his Wigan teammates, they'll be happy with that.
Gil, make sure we hold on
They
the
will,
goal
because
line.
it's a scrum 10 metres
Can't
away
go
from the
around
Widnes line.
Chris, nice and quick in the tackle.
It's all about just building that pressure, staying calm, staying composed
No surrender.
when you're close to the opponent's line.
Pipe down.
Those
Head
are
in.
2 matches
Forward,
this
let's go.
weekend that we have for you live on Sky Sports. We're at Warrington tomorrow for another big challenge for the Warrington Wolves against the Catalan Dragons. In the last 3 weeks they've played Saints, Hull and the Dragons now tomorrow. So big pressure at the top of the Super League. This is Matty Smith, gets it away. Ryan Sutton with a drive to the line. Good run from Sutton. He really has established himself in this Wigan side this year. Plays the ball to Gelling. Looping pass from him to Smith. Looks for the runners on his inside. And that's Joe Bretherton.
He tried to offload as well, just couldn't get his arms free.
Bretherton on for the injured Dom Crosby. Good work in defence by Buchanan. All over Matty Smith. Smith couldn't get the pass away. Powell does. Shorrocks again goes high and comes right. Looking for Manfredi, finds Manfredi, it's tipped back. Oh, here now is Patrick Arvan. Patrick Arvan with open ground ahead of him, and he's beaten the first tackle. It's Arvan against Lewis Tini and against Bretherton, and Bretherton comes back and pulls him down. Widnes though on the front foot all of a sudden, and they go right here with Cahill. No, he goes up the middle. They were lined up down that right-hand side.
Great work by the big winner, wasn't it, Patrick Arvan? Good job that Bretherton did get back. Really has been the first clean break that we've seen in this game.
Wigan's defence is now remarshalled though.
They were very quick to get back. That just shows you how fit this Wigan outfit is. But that would have lifted the Widnes team.
Cahill gets to his feet, plays the ball. They're inside the 10-metre mark. Brown to Hanbury, and Hanbury taking the defenders on again. But Wigan would not be fooled by that little drop of the shoulder.
Yeah, it was trying to give the impression that he was going to put the little grubber through. There it is.
Brown does that.
Oh, they've got to get him over the line, surely, and will they? Yes, they will. That's wonderful defence. Tremendous stuff.
No, the right side of the whitewash.
It was almost the perfect result, but I think of the kicks that we've seen, whenever teams have put the ball high, hasn't gone in the way of the attacking side. That might be a tactic that both sides will look at and think, do you know what, we'll just put it on the floor and challenge the defending team to get hold of it. There's a penalty going against Widnes and against Matt Whitley.
Well, he definitely gets the oh, he's claiming that he had the ball carrying arm, not the ball. It looked as though they had him in goal here.
Gildart did really well to stay the right side of the post, didn't he?
Does he ever?
Back on me, back, wait.
You're right, Eddie. He's had a tremendous year, Gildart. Never say die attitude.
Well, that's the Wigan way, isn't it? Here is Gelling, now Tautai.
Two. Stand here!
That always gives you the impression that Wigan, if they can get over the halfway line, look, they're only at their second play the ball. Oh, that's that'll be play on.
It is, and it's a 0 play. It's a free play for the knock-on.
Tackle. 0.
Oh, and Runciman is having a bash here. But he's beg your pardon, Corey Thompson is having a bash down that far side, but he has given the ball back to Wigan, so they come back for the original offence, and there it is, the knock on by Joe Bretherton.
There's good work by Lloyd White.
Guys, time's off.
So often we see the change in tackling these days.
Scrum, come on.
You know, where we're always having at least one down for the legs. They don't bother that now. It seems to be let's attack. And, you know, Wayne
ball,
Bennett,
guys.
I'm not so sure he'll be happy about the attacking skills, but he certainly likes defence as that fella.
Pat down.
0-0. You'll be enjoying this then, because there's nothing to show yet on the scoreboard.
Pat down. Time back on, ball in, Joe. Out.
Widnes changed, the big man.
Lloyd, make sure you get your head in.
And AC Manakofoa has come on the field. He's making his 50th Widnes appearance tonight.
And when you get a scoreline like this, Eddie, you know, with nearly 25 minutes into the game, the two coaches will say, look, if we get a penalty within range, we'll take the two. Oh, good play!
Yes, Runciman feeding Patrick Arvan.
If he looks at that again, Charlie Runciman was through. All he had to do was keep running.
Aaron Jeremiah gets the ball away to Reece Hanbury. Hanbury goes wider still to Chris Bridge, who tries to outmuscle Gildart, fails, will have to play the ball to Thompson. Mellor stabs the ball looking for Kevin Brown. Oh, it's a knock on by Whitley. It was knocked on both ways, I think.
I think there's a first one from Wigan, but Whitley certainly has. He got overexcited.
Just make sure there's a knock on it. It doesn't come off his feet.
It looked as though it was going to be a perfect. It looked as though it was going to be a perfect kick through, wasn't it?
Stuart, there's possibilities of knock on both ways here.
It certainly is. I've not even seen the ball grounded, so I don't think. I think we definitely know it's not going to be a try. They're onside from the chase. Who's the first knock on for? I think this is all about the restart. There's no obstruction on Kevin Brown going through. And I think the first possible knock on is from Anthony Gelling from the Wigan side. That hits his leg, so that's play on. Well, actually, the ground is there. Does it hit his foot?
I think Gelling may have just got a fingertip to it.
Or did Brown get a fingertip to it in the very first instance?
Well, I think Matt Whitley, after this knock-on, there's the first knock-on.
No, it's not.
Well, I don't think it's a knock-on there. That's hit his leg.
So,
and I think that hits just hits his finger there.
So the first knock-on is from Widnes, Stuart. Is that what you're saying?
First knock-on is from Widnes. It's very close, a lot closer than I thought it was. I thought it was pretty clear. But I think he just gets his hand on there. That's the knock-on from Widnes.
Does he?
Well, it's been given no try on the field, so the referee think there it is.
There it is, yeah.
That just touches there. That's a knock-on, so it's going to be a scrum restart for Wigan.
And I wonder whether both teams are just taking a mental note. Kicks along the floor. There could be some really big rewards from those.
Try is denied.
It's going to be a scrum to Wigan.
And it's all fine margins.
Scrum, so it was a Widnes knock on.
Yeah, and it's all fine margins because Kevin Brown had actually put his hand up. He called for that kick. I mean, teammates Lloyd White, Charlie Runciman, and then Matt Whitley, who was outside on the left, they just held back a couple of metres. If they would have pushed up with that man, that could have been the opening try.
Well, that's a third attempt at Widnes have tried that.
Out.
And it is a very, very good ploy when we look at the scoreboard. Still 0-0.
Yes, and it's
25.5 minutes gone.
It's a dogged performance from Wigan tonight. They've shrugged off the internal dramas that they have had. They've seen John Bateman fined and suspended. They put a 4-match winning run together. They beat Leeds at the Magic, then Castleford, Salford and Hull KR. Their last home appearance was on May the 13th when they lost 30 points to 16 to the all-conquering black and whites of Hull at the moment. So doing it tough away from home, but still picking up the wins. Let's get news of Dom Crosby. Bill.
Yeah, it looked pretty serious when he went off initially, and there was some speculation it might be a break or a dislocated elbow. Hang on.
It's Tautai. We'll be back with you shortly, Bill. Greg Burke is waiting at dummy half for the Warriors. He's found Matty Smith. It gets itself to Lewis Teeney. He finds Oliver Gildart, and Gildart is brought to ground. But look, that's only the first tackle, and now he has a penalty because there were hands on him as he tried to play that ball.
And on top of that, Joe Mellor never got out of the way of the ruck. There's always going to be a penalty to Wigan.
11 penalties now, and Wigan suddenly have had 6 of them. Bretherton will drive it in.
Now will Wigan take the choice and the little dribble through? We've seen it 3 times from Widnes.
Shorrocks finds Smith. Smith finds Gelling. Gelling trying to go through the hole. And Anthony Gelling is hauled back by 4 purple jerseys. Lewis Tierney waits at dummy half. Fires the pass into centre field to Matty Smith. Smith, little stuttering run, finds Shorrocks. That's a confident pass from him. Out wide to Gildart. And Gildart, well, they showed him the touchline. Widnes. And he accepted the invitation. Chris Bridge effecting the tackle. And Charnley goes down the short side.
Held up.
Charnley got this ball down. The referee is right on the spot. He's going to hand this upstairs again to the video referee, Joe Cobb.
No try.
No try there. I don't think anyone could have got a better view than Chris Kendall.
Yes, please.
Yeah, he was in good position.
I was going to say he just wants to check, Stuart, that the ball touched a blade of grass, but it's all plastic.
Might struggle on here, yes. But I think, you know, we were all surprised when we saw the ball on the ground. I thought that Charnley managed to keep hold of the ball all the way down, but the ball ends up on the ground. How does it get there? Is it still in his possession? Well,
and Mellor,
it's on the ball. It's on the ground at that point, isn't it?
Yeah, but I don't think there's any Wigan. I don't think Charnley's got his arms that long. But you never know.
Well, we've got to try and find some way of proving that this is a try as opposed to no try. Can we see his hand on the ball when it goes to ground?
Look how close the referee is to it, Stu.
It is. But I think he's got part of Charnley's body in his way, I think.
I think he said no try, hasn't he?
He has, and we've seen nothing yet that says it's on the ground.
I think the Widnes play is clamping hold of the ball.
Well, the important thing is that when it's on the ground, it's got to have some part of Josh Charnley's arm on it, because he was in possession when he went in there, so he's still got to have possession when the ball's touched on the ground, and I don't think there's any evidence there at all. You can see the ball on the ground, you can't see anybody in possession of it at that point.
Well, Corey Thompson does a good job here, because he just leaves Widnes with one marker so close to the line. He sees the threat of Charnley behind the dummy half, so he gets back on his line, he comes forward, and Charnley, still with his strength, manages to bump him back. But because he's positioned himself in a defensive line, I think that Corey Thompson, the try-scoring machine from Widnes, could have prevented a try here.
Well, let's see if he has. And Joe Cobb goes with the on-field call.
Well,
and the ball came loose in goal, a 20-metre restart, so that is good defence from Widnes.
Certainly is, and you mentioned it, Eddie, that you know, Chris Kendall, look at him there. I mean, he could have been in the defensive line.
well, Chris Bridge does a supporting role. Chris Bridge's hips and body is all clamped and clenched towards Corey Thompson, and of course Josh Charnley. Good defensive work from Widnes. I must say, 28 minutes, Widnes are up to the task. When you play Wigan, you have to be up to the mark defensively, or they will punish you.
Right, let's get that news belatedly from Bill about Dom Crosby.
Yeah, well, while that was going on, Dom Crosby came back out of the dressing room, left arm heavily strapped. As I said, it was feared that it might have been a dislocated elbow. Not as bad as that, and there's potential that he could reappear for the Warriors as this game goes on. Just a word for poor old Wayne Bennett, because he's come all this way. He saw one try in the entirety of the game against Huddersfield Wakefield last week, and we've had half an hour here, and he hasn't seen another one yet.
Don't go early. Wait.
He likes defence, I keep telling you, Bill.
Well, he'll be enjoying this then at 0-0 with 29 minutes of the first half gone.
Well, they won't be just happy with seeing players having a game that's going their own way all the time, scoring tries. We want to see them under stress, under pressure, and he's got 2 sides tonight who are defending very, very strong.
There's Dom Crosby. He's out of the dressing room, but as we've heard from Bill, heavily strapped.
Well, you'd have to expect that the first try will come from a kick.
That's Gil Dodson, the former Wigan man. Oh, and it's a pass that found its way somehow to Whitley, who gets rid of it. And here now is Runciman. And Runciman's gone past a few. Solid goal line defence again from the Wigan Warriors. Tierney clamped the ball. Comes out to try and a knock on.
Now then, who's taking it out? Was it a Wigan player that took it out over the line?
No, it was a knock on by Arvan.
Pat Arvan, good field position, holds his wing. Nobody in front of him, catches that ball, it's the opening try.
Well, Nick Gregson's on the floor in the background. I'm not saying he would have been on the wing and in that position, but everybody, Concertina's in. Nick Gregson, who's still on the floor, looks in a lot of discomfort. That was the reason that the overlap and the mismatch of numbers and the try opportunity that ultimately wasn't taken from Patarban presented itself.
Well, that's a try for all money, isn't it?
It was a good ball from Lloyd White, wasn't it?
Yeah, he went on that short blind side. They knew it, and there's the frustration on the face of Dennis Betts. He knows that they could have got the scoreboard going for the first time.
Problems here, though, for Nick Gregson.
Last 15 minutes been good. Other than that,
Maybe he just overextended the arm. Do you think, or did his knee hit the ground?
Yeah, he plants his knee and body twists round.
I think they're signalling that he will have to leave the field here, the medical staff.
And Ryan Sutton moved into the customary front row position. Gregson, who went onto the right side in the back row. You're right, Eddie, he's leaving the pitch now. They've got Greg Burke, who's playing in the hooking department as well. So Wigan are doing it tough. They're busted. Gregson leaves the pitch. Well, Don Crosby will be 100% fit if he's asked to come back onto the pitch.
Well, Nick Gregson's not going right for him lately. He's been out of the side for the last 6. He was on loan at Swinton a fortnight ago.
It's becoming a nightmare for Sean Wayne, the coach.
I think Benny Flowers just trying to figure out which of the forward shirts he's going to be looking after. It looks like a knee, a ligament injury for Nick Gregson. You'd assume he won't come back in. So he's got a lot of middlemen on the park at the same time.
Yeah, looks as though he twisted it badly.
Well, this won't help Sean Wayne's plans for the cup tie next week against Castleford. You heard him, I wonder, in the pre-match interview with Bill, saying that he wasn't prepared to risk players because he wanted them right for Castleford next week. They have a bit of a score to settle, of course, with the Tigers in Challenge Cup football, and they're aiming to put it right at their first home game for about 6-7 weeks next weekend at the DW Stadium. We're over the half-hour mark.
Aaron Jeremiah, as he always does, comes on, makes an impact. At that point, he's doing it defensively. Line speed is picking up a little bit. I wonder whether the Widnes players, sensing the rotation of the Wigan side, might be slightly affected, or will be affected, with two players who may not return.
Do you get the feeling, gentlemen, that this might just open up eventually? Because it's been really, really tight so far.
Defence in these types of games is absolutely crucial, and you can't give teams like Wigan an opportunity to score on you, because they punish you when they defend, they punish you when you make a mistake, and they punish you when you have a slice of bad luck. And Widnes are competing very, very well up to press.
Well, I mentioned earlier that if they get the opportunity before the half-time break of the penalty anywhere near kicking range, I'm sure that the coach would get the message out. That's gone backwards, or is it? Oh, he said it's a knock-on. Must have hit a Wigan player.
Yeah, it did. He lost it forward into the Wigan player, and that's the knock-on.
Well, Jeremiah shakes his head. Yeah, you can see he tried to offload.
He's absolutely right, the referee.
Spot on. I keep saying he's having a big game, Chris Kendall. I know he's had a lot of penalties, Eddie, but every one of them have been true and honest.
We're always very close to the Widnes supporters here, and I don't think we ought to proffer the view about Chris Kendall to a couple of gentlemen who are in front of us, because well, on about 3 occasions, the young man here has nearly blown a gasket at everything that the referee has.
Can I just say, on behalf of me and Tez, you're on your own, Steve, if it kicks off. We'll just let them express themselves.
I'll be off as
we'll look after you, Eddie.
Oh, thanks.
We like you, but Steve-O's on his own.
I've been on my own for 26 years. What's up with you?
Here is Wigan coming forward again with Isa. Gets it wide to Josh Charnley.
Good defence from Thompson.
Isa was the dummy half. And this young man, Shorrocks, has not taken a backward step tonight so far. Got the ball away to Flower, who took the tackle. Tautai. He's got Bretherton on his shoulder. Gives it, though, to Smith, who finds Ryan Sutton. They've reached tackle number 5 once again. Wigan, he's fighting to get to his feet, is Sutton. That was Burke, the dummy half. Smith, another. It wasn't late, but it was a fierce challenge on Smith as he slid that kick through. And Rhys Hambury tiptoes through the defenders. And Rhys Hambury gets as far as young Bretherton, and down he goes in the tackle.
And that's twice that Bretherton has got back. Shows his ability, that is for sure, and the stamina. It could have been a penalty, they're all over them. But what a great effort by Rhys Hambury.
Bridge again, but he's running laterally. Can he release someone? He tries to with Whitley. Gelling doing a good job, but Whitley gets the ball away. That's another mistake.
He's having a nightmare as a winger, Patrick Arvan, and he knows it.
Yeah, well, Matt Whitley, when he starts running across the pitch, he's looking for Runsman, he's looking for Patrick Arvan to cut back in field. Drop a little Lunders line, good little kick in, and this was brave from Hanbury. He gets the ball, he beats a couple of Wigan defenders. Young Bretherton gets back, puts pressure on him, comes up with a decent tackle on him, slows the play down. Corey Thompson's looking for that speedy ruck so he can get going forward. Well, what have we got? Just over 6 minutes to go. Well, John Wells, I hope he's picked out some decent play the balls for half-time.
It'd be interesting to see what he comes up with.
Well, there's been
a touch screen with Ryan.
There's been a couple of opportunities for Widnes. They've certainly had more chances.
Patrick Arvan has certainly blown the best of them. And he's had a couple of little fumbles as well. I remember last year Patrick Arvan in the actually it was 2014. No, last year he was sent off. He scored 2 tries against Wigan 2014. Last year sent off in this corresponding fixture when it was a draw. Smith running laterally, that's off the shoulders of Isa. Here's a chance for Bridge. Bridge stands. Couldn't get the ball away to Mellor, but does now on the play the ball. Mellor gets it. And
Harrow knocks on. It'll be a free play for Wigan. Well, they had the overlap there on the right-hand side. You could see that Josh Charnley, he had his back to the opposition. Really out of position, but got there and golden opportunity. This could have been 18-0 if Widnes had taken the chances.
Gets the ball away to Gildart. He is brought down by Hanbury. They're saying that he knocked the ball on then. Herremeyer and Hanbury appealing for a knock on. It didn't come. So here's Shorrocks again, the Academy Grand finalist with Wigan, taking the defence on and his Super League debut. Matty Smith, flat pass to Ryan Sutton.
Great tackle there by Brown. Not much job in Kevin Brown, but he puts in the big tackles.
Gelling, the kick has ricocheted back into the arms of Charnley. It wasn't played up by the Widnes defender. It is still the last tackle. It was Manfredi, not Charnley.
Well, they'll try absolutely anything, Anthony Gelling. Tries to just get the ball through the defensive line. It comes off a Widnes player. And then all of a sudden, now they've got to bring the ball away. I tell you who's showed up very well for Wigan in this game. Ryan Sutton, defence. He's been asked to defend out on the right edge. He's not been used to defending out there. He's come up with 22 tackles, and he's offering himself every time that Wigan are playing the ball.
Very good 3 tackles defensively here from Wigan. They've flown out to the line. This is a little slower, perhaps, as Manasseh Manakafoa gets the ball away. Then it's knocked on again by Chris Bridge of Widnes, and Wigan have the ball back. That's reward for good, quick line speed by Wigan. Here is Tautai.
He was very slow to pick it up, Chris Bridge.
Tautai has beaten a couple, can't get away from Brown. Tell you what, if Wayne Bennett is impressed with defensive qualities, he'll be impressed with Kevin Brown tonight. So far,
as I said, there's not much of him, but he gets low, makes sure that they can't get any progress forward.
Such an important member of this Widnes side. Greg Burke in centre field at dummy half finds Matty Smith. He then finds Shorrocks, who gets the dummy away, but Christine would not be fooled. Isa into dummy half. Smith drops the pass off. Bretherton halted 11 metres short of the Widnes line. Fourth tackle gone. Fifth one coming up. Or do Wigan have something that can penetrate this defence with Tierney? No, not this time. Brown again, scratch into the ground. Last one coming then. Gelling to Smith. This will be a kick. It's all along the ground, and this is going to be too quick and too deep.
Idea good. Didn't like it, Sean Wayne.
No, he's prowling the touchline.
Too strong. They weren't back to 10. Surely that's going to be a penalty.
Good run from Corey Thompson.
Well, Wigan are hesitating. They're missing a couple of jumps. They're getting caught. They're looking to get a one-on-one, maybe create something on the edge. When the forwards have gone forward, like Pat Arvan goes into Tautai, gets rid of him.
They can't get rid of Ryan Sutton. Plays the ball though to Aaron Herremeyer. In centre field he finds Lloyd White. And the pass from him finds Dean. Support from Hanbury. Great tackle, but still a try.
He's knocked on. He's lost control of it. He's about half up. half a foot, that's 6 inches, isn't it?
I think that was a tremendous tackle then from Oliver Gildart.
Absolutely brilliant to
An
get
absolute
back.
try-saver.
Yeah, because it was a dead set try, wasn't it? I think Christine was the one who offloads the ball. He beats Lewis Tierney. Ben Flower. It's Ben Flower, the prop forward.
Right, guys,
he gets back, prop power. Look at that. What a huge play. The man who's just come back onto the pitch in the last 5 minutes.
Well, there's some commitment in both of these teams. Dennis Betts, Mick Cassidy. They know that was a certain try, not for Ben Flower and his involvement. And neither team is prepared to give an advantage away.
And apologies to Ben Flower. Fancy crediting Oliver Gildart with a tackle like that when Ben Flower put all that effort in.
I think he'll take that as a compliment, Ben Flower. He'll think I'm that fast. I look like a centre.
Do you know that's nothing but desire, that, isn't it, lads?
Yeah.
That's absolutely top draw, that.
That's a knock on.
It's a penalty. The ball was stolen.
It was squeezed out.
Well, they've got just over a minute here, Widnes, and if they can keep the resolve, they go in 0-0.
There was a raised elbow there.
Yeah, there might well have been. Might well have been.
There was. Never mind, might well have been.
All right, I'm saying there was. I'm just saying it in a different way, Stephen.
Hello. Let's hope that the Widnes can keep this defence, because it has been superb on both sides, to be fair.
Matty Smith as
like,
we approach the last minute of the half.
It's like turning the clock back, isn't it?
Another knock on by Matty Smith. He's not happy, Sean Wayne.
Well, shouldn't he be penalised for that, throwing the ball away?
Well, he should have been. That was clear dissent on the part of Matty Smith. Didn't get the decision his way. Throws the ball away. Should be no hesitation from the referee.
He should have blown the whistle, and Widnes should have had the opportunity to be 30-40 metres upfield, with only seconds remaining.
Kevin, let's go.
Well, body's in, what he's saying to the referee. He thought Aaron Jeremiah's come over the top of him, dislodged the ball. He thought that was a clear penalty from his reaction.
And he didn't say to the official, "Oh, I'm awfully sorry, sir."
Right, Runciman then for Widnes. Runciman gets through. Oh, lofts the ball forward to Patrick Arban. I mean, they're trying to score on every play.
As I said before, it could have been 24-0. If they'd have taken their opportunities.
I think Tezzy's right, John Wells, you've got to feel sorry for him. It's going to look like Terry O'Connor's highlight reel. It's knock-ons and missed opportunities and missed tackles.
Don't go away with the
drop
ball.
balls.
Let's get it in here.
Not missed anything out, Tez.
Back down,
No,
boys.
you think you've summed my career up quite well there.
34 seconds to the half-time siren.
Great head in
Well,
the
we might
scrum.
look at Baz's next.
Time back on, ball in.
It's too long.
Out.
Matty Smith from the base of the scrum to Shorrocks, and he gets it away to Lewis Tierney.
One.
Well, we'll see something different. A little chip over the top.
Go, that's one.
Reece Hambury's pretty well upfield. He's not dropping deep. He should be.
Two.
Well, there's
Stand now,
15 seconds
Lloyd!
remaining. They're on halfway,
Go,
too
two.
far away for a drop goal attempt to try and give them something at half-time. Good work. Good work by Mellor on Isa. Knock on it is. And I think that will be the end of it. But it will be now, because Lloyd White is going way downfield. There's the half-time siren. Dennis Betts knows his team should have had this game in their pockets. A few chances have gone begging. A great tackle from Ben Flower, denying them once, and a knock-on by Patrick Arban, denying them twice. So the two sides will leave the field. Wigan won 18-12 at Wigan in March. Then they lost 8 in a row, tumbled from the top of the table, but they are certainly showing a lot more spirit these days. A bit of a show in the second half.
Certainly should, and I'd like to get the opportunity to pass on condolences to the Reid family. The great Jackie Reid, MBE, passed away last Tuesday. He was a Bala icon, a man who took so many great tours down under to Australia and New Zealand. And I do know that two of my companions here, Terry O'Connor and Barry McDermott, he was a manager when you went down, in what year?
Yeah, it was 1991. He was absolutely quality. Loved what he did for the amateur game in Cumbria and for Bala was absolutely brilliant.
That's one.
Oh, rest in peace, Jackie Reid. Here, we're underway in the second half of Widnes against Wigan. Wigan in the lime green and Widnes in the purple. And it's Wigan who are attacking from right to left, and there's the drive in from Ben Flower early in this second half.
He's had a big game, and of course in these conditions it is quite slippery out there. There's been quite a few mistakes, but you just wonder whether Dennis Betts and Widnes and the Wigan coach Sean Wayne will come up with something a little bit different. We saw early in that first half that Kevin Brown put in no less than 5 little kicks into the corner, and when you think of the opportunities, Wigan had one that got turned down, and Widnes had 4 real clear-cut chances. Amazing. Instead of 0-0 at half-time, it could well have been 24 points on the scoreboard in Widnes' favour.
Widnes in possession, first time in this second half. Let's go down to the sideline here from Bill Arthur, who's got Sam Tompkins with him.
Sam's here, Liam Farrell alongside him, brother Joel further along. It's the Wigan casualty ward alongside you, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a few of us out today, but we're all back soon, so that's not too bad.
Back next week, perhaps, for the Cup?
Oh yeah, I'll be. I'm fit this week. It was just a case of being rested. Joel will be back next week, and Liam will be here a few more weeks yet.
Now then, this first half, is it a case of chances bombed, good defence? How did you see it?
I think we defended well for big parts, but I think we just have to be happy that we're not down at half time. You know, they've probably blown 3 clear-cut chances in the first half. You know, we've had a couple, but you know, we've got some lads doing it tough out there, and you know, our defence can pick up a bit this half, but I think it's our attack that needs to improve more.
These youngsters are doing Wigan proud, aren't they? Jake Shorrock's come in, he doesn't look out overawed.
No, he doesn't. You know, Jake's a great young player. I've spent a lot of time with him. Coming back from my injury, had a very similar one. I think he's only played 2 games since coming back from an ACL, so for him to come and he only got told 1 o'clock this afternoon that he was playing, but you know, he's a talented young lad. I'm sure he'll be at Wigan for a long time, and you know, I think today could be a pretty character building for him.
Thanks, Sam.
Cheers.
Jeremiah gets a flat pass away to Buchanan, and he is held up by 3 defenders right underneath those sticks. And Jeremiah waits at the play the ball, then fires the pass to Kevin Brown, and Brown gives it then to Chris Bridge. And Bridge turns and comes back into centre field, running along the 10-metre line, looking for an opening, nearly there.
Not only an opening, we're looking for someone to offload to. All the Widnes' players just hang around and say, oh, what's he going to do? We've got a chance here.
It is with Dean, and Christine is just short of the line on tackle number 5. Brown then going on his own. Has he dropped the ball? He has. The referee says that's a knock-on. 20-metre restart.
Wait, Josh.
Well, it's unusual to see Kevin Brown run from the dummy half position, but you can see quite clearly. I think you find that it might have been Charlie's knee that dislodges the ball from there. So that can be chalked down as number 5 opportunity for Widnes. And look at the scoreboard, still 0-0.
And the completion rate in the first half was probably the problem, 48% completing, and that's not good enough. Wigan's completion rate was 72. That's what's keeping Wigan in the game. They're lacking some playmakers. They're down on numbers in this game, but the forwards are just getting through the sets. Matty Smith's kicking the ball and just keeps on turning Widnes around.
Well, I've been impressed with the substitute Tautai. He really has got through a lot of work. Now then, what have Wigan got up their sleeve here? They've got it out wide.
They are. This is Tierney. He's further wide to Willie Isa, but he is trapped by 3. He's brought to ground.
Easy to read. It was too lateral. They weren't really taking on the defensive line.
Smith to Tautai. No, the first one wasn't. The second one possibly was forward. Charnley dabs the ball forward somewhat aimlessly, and it's picked up by Corey Thompson. Ducks underneath 2. Can't get away from Tautai.
Well, the line speed from Widnes made Wigan play that ball and throw that long cut-out pass. The tight 3 defenders close to the play the ball got off the line and put a lot of pressure on Matty Smith. And Corey Thompson, well, he's looking to offload the ball. Tautai's all over him.
I think it was Tautai that put that wide pass in. I think you'll find he's going to get more minutes, more game time, which will mean he'll have more impact and influence. But as we've seen with him specifically, but big men in general, when they get tired, they get loose, and there could be some opportunities for Widnes later on in the game.
2 sides here, by the way, who won virtually all the titles that were on offer in the old winter era, the last of the winter years. Wigan had 8 of them, Widnes 2. So between them, they won all of the last 10 championships in the winter era. And 2 sides with rich pedigree.
Stand Willie! Hold. Let's go for.
But so far, 0-0. And here is Matt Whitley.
Still 4.
And there's yet another knock by Kevin Brown. You know, statistics tell their own story. This is the 13th scrum we've had, so that's probably indicative of we might have had 13 handling errors at least. And also there have been 14 penalties, equally shared 7 apiece. And we've only had one trialist Super League game ever, 2007. Salford 5, Harlequins 2 at the old Willows ground.
Good response to
Let's hope that in the next 35 minutes we get the deadlock broken.
There'll be a couple of tries. There'll be a couple of tries. Have faith.
Well, Wayne Bennett must be the jinx because he only saw one at Huddersfield last week in 80 minutes. And he's here now and we've had 46 minutes and Wayne hasn't seen a try here yet. But Steve-O keeps telling us he loves defence.
He certainly has got no option, has he? It's as simple as that.
Hang on.
But this game, when it gets into the final quarter, it's a matter of what's left in the tank. Both these sides have really run themselves ragged in the defensive effort. Oh, there you go.
That's jet lag. That's jet lag.
Yeah, of course it is.
We ought to apologise to Wayne for picking him at that moment. Just a bit of a yawn.
That last tackle, I know the completion rate was fairly high for Widnes, but it's what they're doing when they get to the back end. Sorry, for Wigan, the completion rate was fairly high. It's what they're doing at the back end. How they hand the ball over, whether it's on their terms, they're asking questions, or they're just simply getting to the kick.
Well, I suppose Sean Wayne has got nothing to lose, and you know, we've been pretty happy the way that Jake Shorrocks has shaped up. Maybe this second half, maybe Matty Smith might say, you know, have a little go yourself, ask a few questions.
Neat little run from Shorrocks that was.
That's what we need.
Certainly one for the future. Comes through the academy system. 7th debutant. I think 6 of those 7 have come through that Wigan system, so they must be very proud of it. Here's Manfredi, tips the ball back on the inside, and Widnes' scrambling defence just manages to deal with the threat. Now it's with Matty Smith. Here is Joe Bretherton again. Gets as far as Christine, Manakufoa and Buchanan. Down he goes on tackle number 4. Powell is waiting.
You put your money on Tautai to be the man to break it.
Well, it might be Gildart. Gildart has got the ball away to Charnley. Charnley gets over for the first try. Nothing wrong with that. That doesn't need to go upstairs. Josh Charnley, in his farewell season with the Wigan Warriors, he is their top try scorer. That's 16 now in all competitions, 14 in the Super League. And Sean Wayne's men break the deadlock at last. 2 tries in the defeat in March. And you know, that's his 21st try against Widnes down the years. Incredible.
And you can see that Widnes not standing square, having to play the ball. Lack of communication, lack of understanding. Tau got it on. This is good play. You can see how they came out of the line. And the inside pass, he was clever. Very clever. Come on the angle. The talented player is Charlie. Don't worry about that. Look at that. That's a nice step. Should have wrapped him up.
It was direct as well. Talima Tautai, he takes it forward. Jake Shorrocks and Matty Smith, they straighten up the point of attack. And that's the reason the winger Josh Charlie, he gets that opportunity. I'm sure Sean Wayne and his coaching staff will recognise straightening up, challenging defenders, and asking some legitimate questions whilst they've got the ball will get plenty of rewards tonight.
Delight for Sean Wayne, because Wigan now on course to join Hull FC on 28 points at the top of the table. They won't displace them because of the superior points difference for the black and whites, but they'll have the points in the bag before the rest get into action over this weekend. Lee Smith then to add the extras, which he manages, no problem. Wigan lead by 6 points to 0, 8.5 of the second half gone.
Well, Josh Charlie's got raw speed. Reece Hambrick, Chris Bridge and Joe Mellor. There's an overchase from Widnes. They're trying to prevent the try from being scored, and you can see all three of them have brought the defensive line. Aaron Jeremiah comes across and he just can't close that play down. But the efforts that the Widnes players shown to try and get there, prevent the try. Josh Charlie though steps off his left, and as I say, that raw speed to get in and score the try.
And it was good work, wasn't it, by Gildart?
Yes, it was.
Lovely pair of hands, yeah.
Lovely pass out wide. It was a difficult kick for Matty Smith, but he still managed it, and he of course kicked a couple of late conversions last week that were hang on. They've just gifted the possession back to Jeremiah here.
Yeah, it was 1-on-1 steal.
And it's not a free play, this. Is it? It is. It is a free play. That's a zero tackle. Had that broken down, Stuart, would that have gone back for the original offence?
It would have. It would have. But I think he's just let play go on. He probably thinks there's been enough stoppages to take it back. So we're carrying on.
Well, here to that. Well done. Well done, Chris Kendall. Buchanan plays the ball to Lloyd White. Here is Mellor again. Now it's with Brown.
Oh, that was never on.
No, Whitley, it was round the shoulders, round his neck and his ears, actually, for Matt Whitley. He had no chance.
I think Whitley was going to be the dummy runner. And that's the reason I had the impression that Kevin Brown was going to flip it over the top of him.
It's such a difficult skill to catch the ball at the line. You might at any point get a clout, and Matt Whitley has two players in his eye line. Ryan Sutton, who's hit everybody on the pitch several times. So it looks at a bad pass selection, but Widnes get more chance to defend and more chances.
Oh, that's another error.
That is a penalty, because that was a knock-on, and then the man just dropped on it.
That is total confusion.
We've got news from Bill on the sideline about Nick Gregson. Bill?
Yeah, and that look on Sean Wayne's face won't improve with the news that Nick Gregson, sitting there in the dugout, has sustained a nasty knee ligament injury. He's just reappeared from the dressing room on crutches with a brace on his leg. So that is a very, very sad news for the young second rower, and it's very, very sad news for the Wigan Warriors, of course, with a lengthy injury list already.
Yes, an injury list that is getting longer by the week as this 21st Super League season progresses.
Well, Widnes have got to start taking these opportunities.
Mellor's trying to do exactly that. Tautai though gets to him. He missed him. Didn't complete the tackle. But eventually it was. Brown gets the ball away. Bridge, good defence. Good defence from Charnley.
What's it ever? Spotted it. Knew that Brown was going to throw the quick pass.
Here's a knock on from Bridge. Wigan escape again. Dennis's mood is getting blacker by the minute.
I don't know if Dennis has a dog. I hope he has. But you can see there just an error from Chris Bridge.
Well, he's actually tried to play the ball on Bridge, and that's why Chris Kendall's give a knock-on against him. I think he's tried to gain a penalty there, and he's actually now turned possession over.
They're so close to the opposition's line. This is what you do want to ask questions, and Wigan have defended very well. And the mistake, well, they've had the ball 27 occasions and made 12 errors. That's just not good enough. You can't win rugby games like that if you're completing it just over 40%.
And the tackle count goes on and on and on, and they're messing around. What do you expect?
Well, how many times do you see this in rugby league?
Laying on the top all the time.
You've made a mistake. As soon as you make a mistake, you try and win something back, and then the frustration from making that mistake in good field position, you give a penalty away, and then you conceded those simple meters.
And the biggest problem, Eddie and Ted, is that, you know, the referee is going to cop this because they're saying, oh, far too many penalties. The players are not helping him.
I don't think any of the penalties he's given have been disputed from up here. This is Ben Flower, but I know what you're saying, Steve-O, because that was the 17th penalty of the night.
And they were all penalties.
Everyone.
As I say, you know, players are responsible for making this game a lot better.
Lewis Teeney gets to his feet and plays the ball. This is in Sharks again. He gets it away to Greg Burke. That was Gildart. Gildart then to the try scorer Charnley. He's cut down by Corey Thompson. Gildart waits. There's the pass inside to Sharks once more. Tautai takes it forward willingly. Crosby is back out there. Good hit. Matt Whitley. Kevin Brown. Last tackle here for Wigan. Matty Smith drops the kick behind the defensive line, but Reece Hambry read the script.
Gil Dudson's pressure on Matty Smith then. The birthday boy Gil Dudson, 26 today. No, Shorrock is growing and having a big influence in this game as the game gets on, isn't he?
And it's an important period with two players unable to get back on the pitch for Wigan. They're going to tire during the last stages of this game. They need to get points in the bank. Otherwise, the last 10 minutes could be very difficult.
Jeremiah waving the players forward on both sides. Gives the ball then to Gil Dudson, the birthday boy.
This will be a high bomb, surely.
With Brown. Up it goes. High and deep. Teeney's in reverse. Teeney patches it safely enough. No stranger to the full-back role, of course. Lewis Teeney.
That was well taken, that backing off. Just didn't know where the Widnes players were, and then to catch that ball.
Is it really that long ago? The 7th of June 2013, when he made his debut, scored a try. We're all raving about Lewis Teeney. It doesn't seem like 2 minutes ago, does it?
He only played the first 5 of this year in the full-back role. Charlie with a vigorous run that was halted by Christine's initial tackle. Tautai again.
Boy, he's been strong, hasn't he?
Well, he never takes a backward step, does he?
No, he creates all sorts of problems. If he can play the ball quickly, he really does give Wigan an advantage.
Nice kick through by Smith. Read again by Rhys Hambry, though. Accomplished full-back is Hambry. Do you know he is the Vikings' record try-scorer in Super League as well? Rhys Hambry, they weren't happy about that tackle. The 2 men in front of us here.
Well, I don't know why. The ball carrying arm hasn't hit the deck, so he's every right to pull him back as many times as he wants.
Krista, will you go and tell him, Steve?
I am telling him. Shout out.
Back row of the stand. Someone tell them how to hang on to the football, please.
This is a nightmare for the players and also for the coach, Dennis Bett. Once again, taking the eyes off the ball. There is no excuse. Look, see, he's looking to see who's coming at him before he gets it.
Players practice for hours and hours on end, and the majority of players, they start 8, 9 and 10 and they learn those fundamental basic skills. So on a night like this, when it's a bit greasy and a bit grimy, you can try and use muscle memory, but ultimately that's going to let you down at some point, and it did for Joe Mellor.
Well, will Joe Mellor be with John Wells, or will it be Matty Smith? We'll talk to the winning halfback at the touchscreen at the end of this match. And at the moment, Matty Smith is the man who will be there as Ben Flower takes it forward again for the Warriors. Gets them to within 30 metres of the Widnes line. Powell. The pass away to Crosby. Crosby is bundled to the floor. Powell waits again. Now it's with Shorrock. He finds Smith. Smith then to Tierney. Then he goes wide to Willie Isa. Willie Isa will like nothing better than coming back to Widnes tonight for the first time and going home on a winning side again. 3 years he was here. Ryan Sutton picks up the pace, picks up the legs, drives it in to within 10 metres of the line.
This is an opportunity for young Shorrock to take control.
It's an opportunity for a drop goal from Matty Smith, which he has scored, and that shows how close Wigan think this game might be. 7-0.
Good opportunity. I was surprised Wigan didn't go for a couple of occasions on to take the 2 points, but it's been around long enough as Matty Smith to know how important that could be.
Well, simple job description then for some of the forwards. Get into the middle channel. Matty Smith just dictating the players from the behind the ruck. Sean Wayne knows that it could be another close encounter here at the Select Stadium.
7th drop goal of the season for Matty Smith. Wonder if he's chasing Lee Breer's record of 11 in a Super League season in 2002. I wonder whether players think about things like that.
No.
Lee Breers might.
Lee Breers probably would.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to see his record go west, and now that I've mentioned it, Matty Smith possibly will between now and the end of the season.
Doubt it.
You're saying what with that comment?
I'm saying that he'll use at one point when he feels it's necessary.
Okay.
Simple as that. he won't be thinking in his head, oh, I'll have to have a chance to beat Lee Breers. Come on, he's a professional.
Go 4.
There he is again, Breers.
Outside!
Kick to the corner, it's a decent kick as well. Nasty bounce for Arvan.
You've got him on the brain.
That was another good set of 6, wasn't it? There you go, Pat Arvan. Looks to get in the clear. But Mossop running strongly, Don Crosby running strongly. Mike Smith getting a decent kick away.
Well, I'm sorry, but Pat Arvan can't forearm Matty Smith in the face just because he wants to get up and play the ball.
Move now, Willie!
He's a big player, big powerful winger, one of those robust wingers that 5 metres out, you guarantee he's going to give a try-scoring opportunity a good shake. He's already dropped one.
Hambury finds Chris Bridge. Chris Bridge is met by Gildart and company. I must say, Bill mentioned it to Sam Tompkins in the interview just after half-time. Jake Shorrocks has not looked out of place tonight.
No, and
not for a minute, and there he is again, the number 28.
And he was confident, he was involved in that try for Charlie. I would say, you're 7 points up. Have a go, my young man.
He said it'd be good for his character as well. He's just come back from a knee reconstruction.
Widnes have turned the ball over again.
And another error.
That's the 28th error of the game. It's not good enough at this level.
They've targeted Shorrocks as well. He's made 17 tackles, just missed one. Looking to get at the inexperienced player, but he's looked good.
Here comes Wigan again then.
Yeah, he's built in confidence. You see there, he's put his shoulder to the defence and the tackle.
And the coach in the rain is not impressed. The error count is mounting, and Wigan, they need, they believe, just 2 more points, and they will be safe in the Super 8s.
Yep.
And their memory of the Middle 8s last year, when they were pipped by a point by the Catalan Dragons, they had to play for their lives against the top 4 of the Championship. Here's another penalty. I wonder whether Matty Smith will try and kick this penalty, increase the lead.
I would go for that, 2 points. Look, if you don't make an attempt to clear the ruck...
This is the last warning now.
Sam Paul knows what he's doing.
Team warning. He's in the
Entangles himself up with Cahill. Looks directly at the referee as soon as it happens.
But Cahill made no attempt to get away from the ruck. And if you do that, the referee will penalise you.
Team warning, Widnes now. So
Team
next
warning, guys.
penalty, someone is in the bin, and that will do their cause no favours whatsoever. They'll have to be squeaky clean for the next 10 minutes or so at least, as Sutton drives it in again.
Well, you see every Wigan player that carries the ball up now, they'll be wriggling, rustling around and trying to get the Widnes down to 12 men.
Oh, Flower is so close. If he'd have stretched that arm out, he would have put that down.
Play on, play the ball.
Oh, and he's asking for a penalty. None coming. Untidily, back it comes to Shorrocks again. He fires it then to Gildart. Gildart hits away from the first one, can't get away from Aaron Herremeyer.
Hold. Go 3.
Powell. And now it's Crosby. Takes the ball up the middle, right underneath those sticks.
4.
Once again.
Smith, has he gone back? I think this one might go out wide.
Go 4.
With Shorrocks to Smith, who's now joined the line. Tierney. Tierney goes down. Last one then for Wigan. Here is Matty Smith. Up and over the top. Burke was a possible runner. Smith was a definite runner. Hambury is, and he is scratched to the floor by Powell.
There's no expansive play from Wigan. They're trying to create that space by sucking in some of the Widnes defenders, by running really hard, aggressively into line. As Corey Thompson looks to break free.
That's a great run from Corey Thompson.
Brilliant play. That should be a penalty as well. You could see there that Ben Flower was trying to hold him down. Oh, a clean break.
Christine is on the break. Is he any support with him? He has. He's not going to need it. He has outstripped the ball.
He's dropped it. Unbelievable.
No, has he?
Yeah, Christine has dropped this in the process of putting it down.
No try.
Holy moly.
As he's trying to download that, he drops the ball.
And now we're not giving enough credit to the defender. It happened in a split second, but I'm certain he dropped it.
It certainly bobbled, didn't it?
Well, he's in position there, and it's a clear drop. Yeah, don't need any further from me.
Well, some last-ditch efforts, hasn't it? Ben Flower in the first half. You got Josh Charlie in the second half.
Cheers, Josh.
all he has to do is just keep tight hold of that ball and it's a certain try, and you can see the anguish on his face.
Well, this will be confirmation of the no-charge try, N-O-T-R-Y. Well, what do Widnes have to do? The rain is down, and it looks as though Dennis Betts, no one's going to leave the cake out in the rain when you keep dropping the ball like this.
He's normally Mr. Dependable in defence and attack, Christine. Does all the little things that all his teammates who play with him week in, week out, knows what he's all about.
Isn't it amazing, Tez? The amount of defence that Christine has put in today.
Well, he made 31 tackles in the first half.
I know, it's outstanding, and yet he had the opportunity to make himself the golden boy and just makes a real meal of it.
Well, he's on 44 defensive efforts at the minute, so he's certainly put in a good stint defensively, but big games are won and lost on little instances like that. That could have got his side right back in the game.
Well, they're back in possession here now because Wigan have coughed the possession up. For goodness sake, can anyone hang on to this?
Well, do they want to win the game?
Well, you can see it's absolutely belting down.
They bring it back because it was a free play.
Yeah.
It was a mistake by Wigan, so it's going to be head and feed to Widnes.
A good shot from Dudson and Cahill, who gets underneath Lee Mossop. Lee Mossop has been strong in this game. Run very hard, directly. You can see the shot from Cahill and Dudson dislodges the ball. Jeremiah looks to shift the ball out. And there you go, Eddie. Your new mates are at it again, aren't they? Just below you.
I'll tell you something. I fear for that phone that Dennis Betts is holding. That could be thrown anywhere.
I'll tell you what. Chris Bridge received that pass and Gildart was all over him like a rash. Jeremiah from dummy half gives it to Mellor.
He's got hold of him. Hold.
That could have been a penalty. That
should have been, not good.
Mellor to Brown. Short pass from Brown. Whitley over the shoulder. Great defence from Manfredi. What a tackle that was.
Avidly turned up with the right attitude, Wigan, to defend.
Brown. Het Cahill. Well, they're defending for their lives. They're defending for a place on 28 points at the top of the table, jointly with Hull FC. Hull will stay top because they have the better points difference. This is Whitley, if they hang on for the win, of course. That ball stolen, says Whitley, and the referee agrees. Matty Smith most certainly doesn't.
Well, look what tackle number it was. The reason why he's disappointed is because you're on the last play. They can see another set of 6 there. You can see that the ball is stripped.
As I said earlier, Eddie, you know, you can't blame the official. They're trying it. The players are not helping the officials these days.
Jeremiah gets the ball away to Brown. He finds Cahill. And Cahill gets to the line, but he's held up, says the referee. So back 10 metres.
And you'd rather take that player, go back 10 metres, gives you a bit more space between you and the defensive line. So ask another question.
Jeremiah, but slowly off the ground for they play the ball. Hanbury wide, Arvan. Good defence.
He's in touch.
He's touched the line, Patrick Arvan.
Yeah, they rolled him over.
Manfredi with another brilliant effort.
Well, when defences are like this and they're cancelling each other out, and we've seen a lot of mistakes, I'd like to know the number of forced and unforced errors as we see Patrick Arvan and his foot going into touch. We've talked about the short kick, making that kick along the floor a difficult one to deal with. You can't do that from 10 or 15 metres out. You have to be a little bit further back down the pitch to create the space.
Well, time is running out for Widnes. They trail here 7-0. Wonder what's going to happen tomorrow when Warrington take on the Catalan Dragons. You can find out by joining us 7:30 on Sky Sports 1 again. Warrington and Catalan, 2 of the top 4.
That will be an absolute cracker, Eddie. Let's hope that the rain. Let's hope we have a dry day tomorrow. The thing that confuses when you're looking from afar from the commentary box, Eddie, is that because this is an artificial pitch, you don't understand how much rain is actually coming down and had come down before the kickoff.
It's a proud record that Wigan are trying to deny from Widnes. 27 years since they beat them home and away, and never in the Super League before. It was the 88-89 season in the old First Division. The game against Wigan here attracted over 17,000 people. Widnes retained the title with a 32-18 victory, having won earlier in the season at the old Central Park.
Great kick and chase. Absolutely superb. If there's one thing that a coach will admire, it's a kick like that in the chase. They really have just wrapped them up. They came with a mission, so many players out. It made Widnes odds-on favourites to win tonight.
Yes, been a good effort by Wigan. So many of their stars missing. But players who have turned up here have come with the right attitude.
And because so many players are missing for Wigan, they've had to change the game plan going into this game. Just simplify it. Just don't overplay. Just make sure that your half-back players off a decent goal forward. As Widnes now get a penalty, Gil Dudson in his urgency to get up and play the ball. Well, there we go. Gil Dudson, you can see he's trying to get rid of Dom Crosby. But Dom Crosby, the little push. Now Wigan going into the last, or Widnes going into the last 12 minutes of this game. Know that they need to come up with some point soon.
Both sides on a warning then, Stuart, or do you think Widnes have maybe got away with it now?
I think we'll both still be on it for a few, well, certainly for a few minutes yet, going into the last 10.
But look at that defence again, and Dennis Betts on the first tackle from that penalty. His players go into touch, and the frustration is growing.
In weather like this, why on earth do you choose to go down that short line side?
It's just been an impressive performance in defence. They prevented the opposition from scoring tries. You look at the effort from Josh Charlie on Christine Benflower on Reece Hanbury. You look at that effort on the first play after just giving a penalty away.
I said it before, they're very punishing Wigan when they're in this mood. It's a bad judgment call from Chris Bridge. He's got virtually 60 metres on his left to go out. He comes out on the 10 on the right. And Wigan punish him, put him in touch and get possession back. It will be a victory. If it is for Wigan, it will be a victory for defence. There's been a lot of players who played big minutes. Lee Mossop, to my knowledge, hasn't left the pitch and has been involved in absolutely everything.
Stand here!
Well, they've won the last 4, Wigan. They're on the cusp of winning 5 in a row. They finished in the top 2 for 5 of the previous 6 years. In the hunt for a 5th League Leaders' Shield, a 4th consecutive grand final. And the troops down, and with these youngsters like Shorrocks coming into the side and playing like veterans, to be fair, this will really please Sean Wayne. Give him great hope for the future as well, never mind this year.
Yeah, it's certainly shown, hasn't he, young Shorrocks? He feels proud. They've still got a long way to go. It's a high bomb.
It is. Spiralling everywhere. Well claimed by Hanbury. Well claimed by him. Look for support. There was nobody there. We'll play the ball here to Brown. Brown then gives it to Gil Dodson. Here's Bill with injury news.
It's another problem for the Wigan Warriors. Anthony Gelling off the field, and he apparently has picked up a chest muscle injury. That's the verdict from the Wigan Warriors bench. So Gelling off, just to add to their problems. They're going to possibly get the win, but might be at some cost.
Well, if anybody's likely to get a try, it'll be the fullback Reece Hanbury. But Sean Wayne, as we've all said, must be feeling very, very proud indeed with what the Wigan side has done tonight.
To Kevin Brown. But back they come again, Wigan. Tierney low down. Dom Crosby up top. Last tackle here. Kick to the corner looking for Runciman. No, the ball is kicked out of the air by Charnley brilliantly.
Josh Charnley, he leaps, he knows he has to get that right. And in a game like this, when there are so many mistakes, you have to back your defence. I'm astonished that coaches aren't telling players, kick the ball long, kick it early, and let's force the mistake in good field position, rather than try and run out and risk making those mistakes.
Yeah, you're right, Baz. The turnaround system where you keep the ball low into the in-goal area, your percentage has got to be a lot better than just utilising the high bomb. Who's getting a bit excited, Dom Crosby.
12 years since Widnes were last nilled at home in Super League. 46-0 by Leeds in 2004. Have been nilled twice away at Hull KR in 2012 and at Saints same year. 36-0 at Rovers and 62-0 at Saints. They have something like 8 minutes remaining. to try Widnes and get over that try line.
It won't be easy, Eddie, because that was a beautiful kick by Matty Smith.
It was an early kick. Sorry, Steve, it was an early kick. It was a long kick. As previously mentioned, to back your defence. Talked about coaches. Take coaches out of the equation. They have very little influence at this point in the game. It's the pivots, it's decision makers, Brown, Mellor, Shorrocks and Smith, that need to grab hold of this game at this point.
Well, we know the qualities, Eddie, of the centre, Chris Bridge. But I'm afraid Oliver Gildart has wrapped him up all night. We haven't seen a clean break from the centre, Bridge, and he's getting frustrated.
Dean will play the ball. Here goes Lloyd White. It's the last tackle. Widnes are running it with Brown. Now he chips the ball looking for the winger out wide. That's a knock on. That's a Wigan ball.
Oh, be careful there. It's as though the head was thrust forward. It might have been Manfredi.
Hold.
Force the error. Here's Charnley again.
They'll go through some work as well. Manfredi and Charnley not in that defensive position. They've tried to take a lot of pressure off the forwards, who worked well tonight. They've shared the workload.
Crosby plays the ball. Lewis Tini, Tolima Tautai. Wigan looking for the try that will perhaps wrap this game up. And as we have got just 6.5 minutes left, it probably will if they score again.
And how important is that 1 point from Matty Smith? But when you look at the amount of opportunities and chances that Widnes have had, they'll be furious with themselves.
And from this play the ball, a kick here, all along the ground by Smith, and Widnes quickly to form the scrum and ask the referee to call time off, which he's done. Winning half-back, Matty Smith will talk about his drop goal, and I bet John Wells talks to him about that record of Libriers. He'll get the touchscreen with John Wells after the match.
We'll probably tell him.
I'll tell John to ask him now.
Yes.
Patrick Arvan.
But it just shows you that when it comes to late in the game, and you're hanging on, okay, it's only a 7-point lead, but it's impressive when you know you've got the likes of Matty Smith, who can just steer the team around, make sure what a good kick into the corner. The kick and chase has been outstanding as well from Wigan.
Sport is all about ifs and buts and maybes, but you know, Widnes will look back on this and they'll remember the chances that they spurned in the first half if they do lose this game, and it will be an expensive lesson that they will learn. Jeremiah.
You've got to take your opportunities in life, never mind sport. I'm afraid they failed to do that.
Last tackle coming up here for Widnes with Jeremiah. Brown, high kick, good kick to the try line, tackled in the air, so Wigan get yet another penalty, and Dennis Betts is almost ready to throw himself off the gantry on the far side.
Well, at least his phone anyway.
21 penalties in the match.
But a good effort there. Manfredi hit the ball. Referee has got no option but to give that.
No, absolutely.
Takes him out there.
18 scrums as well.
But some people will look at the stats and say, oh, you know, these referees are spoiling the game or whatever. They've got to make sure that the professional players understand that they're part of the game as well.
We've seen actually some really good young officials over the past month or so, haven't we?
Well, it's been a good opportunity for them, and you know, every game they're going to get is more experience under the belt, which is better for the competition in the future. You know, we've seen now 7 minutes of play where there's been hardly any penalties around the ruck. So perhaps a lesson for Chris Kendall is, you know, don't leave the players to sort it out too long. Get them on a team warning earlier, and we might get a more open game quicker.
And looking forward into the future, it will make the senior referees, the referees that pretty much get picked and get selected every week, it will make them up the game. Any successful team has competition for places.
Tautai driving the ball forward, as he has done all night.
Yeah, he's had a big game.
He's worked hard, he has. And here he's injured by the looks of it.
Time off, it's going to be the last tackle.
And they've got enough injury problems, Wigan. They won't want anything else here.
Just check this chair, yeah.
Yeah, he just went in awkward, and he goes down. You can see the leg just buckle slightly. Oh, what a night for injuries as well. As you can see, the rain is still bouncing down.
Cheers, thank you.
Makes a huge impact, doesn't he, when he comes off the bench?
We okay with that, Joe, yeah? Okay. Guys, it's going to be last tackle when he's ready.
Talima Tautai, he's a big man to try and handle, and there's 3-4 players, Hep Cale and Lloyd White, two of the best defenders on shore in this game and have been consistently for Widnes this year.
Wait, T.
Had to deal with the big unit, the big fella, the big body.
Time back on, let's go. Time back on.
Thankfully he's okay to carry on.
4 minutes remaining as this ball again goes high into the Widnes half of the field and is claimed by Rhys Hanbury. But no way forward with the Wigan defence in this sort of mood.
Good tens.
And when you get to a tight finish like this, Eddie, the side that's got that 1 point advantage, okay, it's got 7 on the scoreboard, but Widnes know they've got to score twice, and that gives a real lift to the Wigan defensive outfit.
Yes, they have to score twice in the next 3.5 minutes, and they haven't managed a single point in 76 minutes 40 seconds thus far. Brown doing all that he knows to try and
back to 5,
get them forward. Penalty here for pull back off the ball.
Yeah, Tautai didn't miss him.
Penalty, pull back.
And it looks as though it's Crosby that's got to him as well.
Oh, no. Time back on, drag.
Is it Sam Powell?
Yeah, it's Powell the hooker.
Well, here is the last chance saloon for Widnes. If they have any chance of getting even a point out of this, they have to score in this set of 6.
And they drive down the middle and go for the 1 point.
Yes. Heremeier to Mellor. Here is Brown. They find Runciman. He finds Arban. No way through for Arban. They have dealt with his threat tonight. Brown again. Stabs the ball to the in-goal area. It bounces and ricochets everywhere. He was close, Heremeier.
Good play by Tierney. He did a fine game as well. It's been a good all-round performance. I'm sure when he interviews Sean Wayne, he'll be very pleased indeed.
Goal line dropout here.
Going to bring all the youngsters in. Tierney, Shorrock. Been impressive. But the battle in that centre, Oliver Gildart and Chris Bridge, boy, it's been magnificent just to watch.
So Smith with the goal line dropout, coaching the last 2 minutes of the match. Nasty bounce over the head of Mellor, but Thompson was there. Here is Manakufoa. The win will please Sean Wayne. The 0 alongside Widnes' name will please him even more.
Can't say the same with Dennis Bledsoe, Eddie. He knows they've blown so many opportunities.
Fabulous tackle by Burke on the flying Kevin Brown. Here is Hanbury. It's Kevin Brown again. He goes down, tackle number 3.
We're looking for the wing, and I'm afraid he'd gone on the inside.
Bridge into centre field to Mellor. Mellor trying to jink his way through this Wigan defence. Not been a happy night for the ex-Wiganers in this Widnes side. Heremeier underneath the sticks. Heremeier going on his own. Whoa, that's a dangerous play. Referee sees nothing wrong with it. Says it's the last tackle coming up.
Did he go over the horizontal? Is the touch judge in?
Time off.
Ben Flower, who picks up.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
Along with Sam Powell.
That's got to be a penalty.
Picks up Heremeier. I'm not sure what Heremeier was thinking, actually. There was more fluorescent shirts around that area than everywhere else on the pitch.
Just a penalty. Mate, he's gone above the horizontal. It's just a penalty. Goal line, wait on me, wait.
Is he going to put this on report?
No. Brown. Back it comes to Hanbury. Now then. 1 minute, 10 seconds for Wigan to keep them out. They've won the match. It's now a question of by how many. Brown with a kick to the in-goal area. Another set of 6 coming at them. Good work, quick work from the winger, Manfredi.
Yeah, put himself in a good position as well. Anticipated to get the kick, and there he is. He's come right up from that right-hand wing.
I really do think both sides have missed the trick with the kicking game.
Discipline this
more
set,
Widnes
let's go,
than Wigan. Wigan are in front on the scoreboard with Widnes. I think when they look back at this game and they consider the kick selection that they've used,
let's go.
I think they'll be disappointed. And every time they put it behind the line along the floor, they've got some kind of result from it.
Good goal line drop out that from Smith. Mellor feels it, gives it to Manakafoa. They've got half the length of the field to go though. Widnes, Hanbury finds Brown, and Brown invites the chase. But Tierney comes across.
Play on.
And goes to ground pretty quickly.
He's been impressive as well. His positional play.
Wait. Go.
Been outstanding tonight.
Well, Wigan will surely just eat up this last set of 6 for them. 15 seconds now remaining. Tackle number 3 coming up. No histrionics here from Willie Isa and co.
Wait now. Go 3.
Wigan fans will be delighted with this. The coach will be as well. Time's off in 1 second. There we go. Matty Smith's drop goal gave them some room to breathe. And look at the smile on the face of Sean Wayne. That really does say it all. All the points coming in the second half, all 7 of them from the Josh Charnley try, the Matty Smith conversion, and then the Matty Smith drop goal that made it 7 points to 0. And Widnes in the end had nothing in reserve. They couldn't come back, they couldn't force the win, they couldn't get themselves up the other end and maybe get a point. And so now Terry O'Connor is